Zombie Apocalypse.
What is up, guys? It is Kenniron here, continuing my retro review series of the Crash Bandicoot Naughty Dog games. Today we visit the last, but certainly not the least, Crash Bandicoot game developed by Naughty Dog, Crash Team Racing. You know the deal. As with all great platformers, you gotta throw a kart racer in the mix. They just go hand in hand. Mario started this tradition, and most kart racers since then have been labeled as Mario Kart clones. I've seen a number of people turn away from this game in particular simply because they can just get the same enjoyment out of Mario Kart 64. Well, those people need to just die, even if some of them are my friends. Sir Arthur Archibald Wonderfluff XIII, you will be missed. I'll send flowers. My point is, no one should just dismiss this game as a clone, and so now that I've got that out of the way, let's dive a little deeper into it. Bouchka bow wow. The story, like the other Crash games, is not that detailed and intricate. Apparently the characters hold kart racing tournaments, and one day an alien, by the name of Nitrous Oxide, makes a global announcement saying that he's going to race Earth's best contester. If he wins, the world becomes a concrete parking lot, but if someone else wins, then he'll leave everyone alone. Seriously though, how many space cars do you have that you need to make an entire planet a parking lot? I mean, you could have at least asked nicely. We would have given you Africa. After Oxide establishes himself as a dictator, all the characters do a series of races to see who truly is the best among them, then race against Oxide himself. So even though the story isn't that great, it's nice to see how it has some solid continuity. Also, Mario Kart never had a story, so suck on that. Crash Team Racing is better by default. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm a little biased though. Mario Kart is great fun, but I do prefer this game. The gameplay is nothing short of amazing, and while there are a few bugs that you can find if you really look for them, it runs pretty well. It's simple. Race around the track a few laps, use power-ups, and try to get in first place. It has neat mechanics like power sliding, boosting on the power slide, hopping, and boosting on the landing of a jump by hopping at the top of the said jump. You know, I don't think I ever saw Mario Kart 64 boost on a jump. Pretty sure they didn't do that until later games. So, they took an idea from Crash Team Racing. How crazy is that? Sorry, I'll stop hating on Mario Kart. It's not as bad as I'm making it sound. The power-ups themselves are fun to wreck someone with without being too OP. You can't just go from 6th to 1st place using a single power-up without any actual driving skills. Bullet! Whew, excuse me. I know. I said I'd stop hating on Mario Kart. I promise that was the last one. If you want to get good at Crash Team Racing, you'll definitely need to practice and master the art of power sliding and boosting. This is what gives your kart the most momentum in-game, allowing you to surpass everyone else no problem. Without it, the races can seem a bit slow, but I've actually gotten really good at this. I tend to lap the AI on the hardest difficulty during a 7-lap race. My family and friends have literally refused to race me. MLG status! Another interesting thing about the game is the different modes. There's the story mode, arcade mode, versus mode, battle mode, and time trials. The story mode is fun because you drive around in these home worlds, going through portals that lead you to the different races and challenges. Challenges include a spin on the time trial, collecting a series of coins that are in odd places on each track, and collecting crystals in a battle arena. The game rewards you for being a completionist too. If you do all the bonus challenges, you get a secret credit screen that basically shows Naughty Dog's journey through the entire series, and then you also unlock all the boss characters in the arcade mode except for Oxide. Speaking of bosses, there are 4 of them before you reach Oxide, and I don't think they're completely against you. My theory is that they've already proven they're fast racers, and they want you to prove you're faster before you race for the fate of the planet. It's kind of a failsafe to make sure that they are indeed picking the fastest racer. Heck, Pinstripe says something along the lines of, if you can't beat me, how do you expect to beat Oxide? Or maybe he said, you may have beaten me, but can you beat Oxide? I don't completely remember, and I'm just too lazy to look it up, but I'm sure it was something like that. Of course, the bosses kind of cheat by having an unlimited supply of certain power-ups, but if you get some missiles, you should be able to take them out pretty easily with either timing or luck or both. The cheating is also true for Oxide, except he takes it a step further by getting a head start. What a dick. The arcade mode is tons of enjoyment because you can play in a single race or an entire cup on any difficulty you want. Of course, I only play on the hardest of difficulties. MLG status! Okay, seriously? I didn't script that. Anyway, if you play all the cups on the hardest difficulty, you unlock a few more battle arenas, which is kind of nice. And speaking of which, the battle mode isn't that fun in my opinion. It's not bad per se, and some of the maps are kinda cool, it's just I prefer the racing aspect. The versus mode is honestly a bit of a letdown due to the fact that there are no AI racers. You only play against your friend, and with a max of up to 4 players, it makes the tracks feel generally empty. But the time trial is neat. If you get a good enough time, you'll unlock Entropy's Ghost. Then if you beat Entropy's Ghost time, you unlock Oxide's Ghost. Then, if you beat all of Entropy's Ghosts on every track, you unlock him as a playable character, which of course I have done. ML, stop it! This wasn't supposed to happen! Get these dank memes out of here! Sorry about that, guys. Looks like I'm gonna have to fire somebody. But where was I? Oh yeah, the ghosts. So, unlocking Entropy is fun, and likewise, if you beat all of Oxide's ghosts, you unlock a penguin. Why a penguin? I don't friggin' know. Go ask Naughty Dog about that. I think they released a version of the game that unlocks Oxide instead, but I'm pretty sure the original is just the penguin. It's a creepy looking thing, yes, I know. It's nice to know that the game's achievable factor isn't just limited to the story mode. The scenery and environments of the different tracks are really cool. The background goes with the foreground extremely well, and none of it is repeated. The track layouts themselves generally aren't too difficult, well, except for a select few. Hot Air Skyway is considered the Rainbow Road of Crash, but with a little practice you can maneuver through it pretty well. Although most of the tracks are fairly easy, they are detailed enough that your little brother won't be able to tell where to go. He'll end up going backwards and annoying the crap out of you because you wanted to play the game for a real challenge, and there's no AI in multiplayer games. Alright, I've made all the important points I could think of, so it's time for some sentencing. As I said earlier, I am biased on this one, and I'll tell you why in a minute, but here goes. Crash Team Racing, I sentence you to a 9.6 out of 10. Yes, that's right. Crash Team Racing, a spin-off, gets a higher rating than all 3 of the main games, which were hailed as gems of the PlayStation. I mean, with great gameplay, graphics, scenery, tracks, and characters, there's hardly anything wrong with this game. Nearly everything was done right, and the only problems I've run into were accidentally finding a bug on one occasion, and the fact that AI aren't present during the multiplayer races. The rest of the game definitely makes up for it. Right, you asked for it, or maybe you didn't, but anyway, here's why I'm biased with this game. As it turns out, Crash Team Racing was my very first memory of video games. It started my love for games. It was one of the first ones that I remember playing, and the second one I ever owned. If it wasn't for this game, I wouldn't have gotten into video games at all. I mean, I'm sure I still would, but there's no telling what genres and franchises I'd be into. It'd be a mess. I see this as a hidden gem, a forgotten legend, a great game, living in the shadow of Mario Kart, shunned by many, loved by few. That went on for too long. Alright, well, I'm glad that's off my chest. That's all for this video, guys. Tell me what you thought about it down below, and feel free to give a like and subscribe. I'll try to crank out another video in 2 weeks' time, but in the meantime, stay frosty. Whatever that means. And as always, I hope you enjoyed. Kenniron, out.